as we reach the end of the NBA season, we come to look at some of the players, the coaches, executives, and people in general that are putting the most work and have exemplified great determination, great defense, overall value to their team, and just being a great team player. And with these, we have the various NBA awards, whether it's the Sixth Man of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, Coach of the Year, or even MVP. And in this video, I'm just going to be looking at all of the major awards that are available for show and just giving my picks and predictions on who I feel deserves this award and the work that they put in throughout the last year to show why they deserve it. And starting off with the Executive of the Year, my choice is Mike James from the Phoenix Suns. And in the last year, the Phoenix Suns really have turned over a new leaf as a team that was once seen as a dumpster fire and a team that was heading nowhere. Since James and Monty Williams, who he hired as coach, have come into the Phoenix Suns, they have pretty much changed the culture around the team and built into a team that was once seen as a team that wasn't going anywhere into a team now that is a major contender in the Western Conference and is one that people could see at least make a conference finals or maybe even an NBA finals if they were to play well enough. After their 8-0 start in the bubble last year, many people did feel that this might be a fluke, but it was far from otherwise with, in the off-season, the Suns signing Chris Paul, which was one of the bigger signings. They were able to turn this into a player who was able to just help the culture that they were looking to build upon. And now they are a team that was from one point missing the playoffs for consecutive seasons into now being one of the top 2 seeds in the Western Conference. Looking at the Coach of the Year award, I do have to go with Tom Thibodeau from the New York Knicks. And as someone who wasn't exactly a biggest fan of his and didn't think that it was a great hire, he has proven many of the doubters wrong and really has done a complete turnaround in the New York Knicks culture and built them up to a franchise where people are proud to be Knicks fans again and are proud to be going to the games wearing the blue and orange that represents their team. Before the season started, many did feel that the Knicks would be a team that would once again be in the lottery, hovering around 30 wins. But Thibodeau really has brought his bread and butter, which is defense, to the team and included a hard rock New York style, which many of the people in the borough and the state would feel represents them. Looking at the team, they currently are 4th in the Eastern Conference, ranking 4th in defensive efficiency, and they're 1st in holding their opponent's field goal down. And with that, they are bound to have their first winning season in 8 years, which is a great culture for the team. And when you look at the roster of the team, it's not like they signed a major superstar in free agency or they were able to have a crazy number 1 pick. A lot of the people that they do still have in the team is a lot of the people that they did have last year, and improving players like Julius Randle, Kevin Knox, bringing in a draft player like Obi Toppin, bringing out the best of RJ Barrett, and even getting back Derrick Rose onto his roster has all been a major part of Tom Thibodeau improving this team. And the Knicks are a team that whoever plays them in the playoffs, whoever plays them in the regular season, is going to be a tough game, and they're really going to play hard defense and provide all the things that Thibodeau does, where it makes it a really hard team to break down. And the fruits are in the label of this team, and it is something that he does deserve, winning his 2nd Coach of the Year, with the previous one that he did have well at the Chicago Bulls. Looking at the Rookie of the Year, this was a tough one at first when you consider that while many did feel that this rookie class wasn't special, there were many players that did perform extremely well. When you look at the likes of players like Patrick Williams for the Chicago Bulls, or Tyrese Halliburton for the Sacramento Kings, or even a player that I doubted myself and didn't really see his potential in Anthony Edwards in the Minnesota Timberwolves. While this rookie class really has outshined what people thought of them, I do have to say that the Rookie of the Year, in my opinion, is LaMelo Ball from the Charlotte Hornets, averaging 16 points, 5.8 rebounds and 6.2 assists. Ball has played extremely well for his team when he has been on the court, and while the team is currently 8th in the Eastern Conference, while he was playing for the team, they were hovering around the 5th to 4th spot in their conference and were playing at extremely well level before he got hurt. But now he's come back to the team, you can really see the impact that he does have on the team. While many of the doubters did question his shot selection and his ability to play defense and his ability to be a consistent player on a nightly basis, Ball has mainly proved that wrong for the most part, showing that he can work within an NBA system and he is able to do what people did recognize him for, which is facilitate the basketball, which he has done extremely well and has been able to give his teammates open options and allow them to be players who can score off his assists. And one of the more underrated parts of his game, I'd say, has been his ability to, from transition, get the ball off a rebound and be able to facilitate it from full court passes, whether it's an overhand or an underhand pass. It's been something that has been really recognizable for him to see, and at this point, with the potential that he is showing, it does show that he could possibly be an all-star at one point, putting to shame his older brother in almost in a middle style way with Little Dewey, and proving that he might be the best ball out of the whole family. Looking at 6th man of the year, this one isn't really one that I feel has much deliberation, and I'm just going to say it straight, it's Jordan Clarkson, Utah Jazz, 17.7 points, 4.0 rebounds, 2.5 assists. Clarkson has put in a massive effort for the Utah Jazz and has shown why, while many did think that his stint in Cleveland was very underwhelming, he's turned into a player who has been reliable off the bench and a player who, when he does come off the bench, is able to provide an impact for his team on a nightly basis, and being able to average 17.7 points isn't easy as a bench player, but it does show as a testament to how good the Utah Jazz is as an overall team and how far their depth goes, especially for the fact that Clarkson is a player who many did write off, and he was able to have a resurgence in a sort of way, and is able to show why he has been respected and why he is the guy that people feel he is. Looking at Defensive Player of the Year, this was another close one. When you have the likes of Rudy Gobert, Joel Embiid, and Matisse Thybulle, who all have put defensive clinics on, it is easy to give them to either of those 3 players. But speaking of those 2 Sixer players, I do have to give it to their teammate, Ben Simmons, who has just been a nightmare on defense for opponents. While he's only averaged 14.3 points, 7.3 rebounds, and 6.9 assists. On the defensive end, he's a monster, averaging 1.6 steals and 0.6 blocks, which is dragging his team to first in Eastern Conference. And looking at those steals, he is currently 3rd in the NBA with those. And looking at his defensive rating of 105.6, he's 8th in the NBA with that. And when you look at Simmons and the defense that he does provide, the stats do show that his team is absolutely better when he is on the floor. When Simmons is on the bench, the Sixers have a defensive rating of 104.3, and when he is on the floor, the Sixers have a defensive rating of 106.7. And it's very easy to see why when you have a player like Ben Simmons, who is able to guard players from the point guard position all the way to the center, it's very easy to see why people see him as the best defensive player in the league. One night you can see him guarding the likes of Damian Lillard, Kyrie Irving, or James Harden, and another night you can see him guarding the likes of Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, and LeBron James. And then on another night you can see him guarding the likes of Nikola Jokic, Rudy Gobert, and DeAndre Ayton. And when Simmons does have his defensive clamps on, he is able to be a pest off ball and on ball. On ball, he's able to stop players which are mainly smaller from being a bit more rapid in the half court and stopping their ability to get to the rim or work in a pick and roll. And when he is able to do that, the pick and roll isn't as effective as if he is able to switch it just negates the problems that players may get with mismatches. And when he's working with the likes of Embiid and Thibault and even Danny Green on the Sixers, it allows him to have more freedom as a defender, as it means that he doesn't have to be stressed about switching back or switching onto one player, which is great for them. And for the big one, the most valuable player, this season has been a weird one where players have got injured. At one point it could have been LeBron James, at one point it could have been Joel Embiid. Luka Doncic had a poor start to the season which ruled him out. Steph Curry played extremely well, but his low seeding counted him out. Damian Lillard was out for a while. So there's one player that does deserve it, and whether people like it or not, the most valuable player this year is Nikola Jokic, averaging 26.4 points, 10.8 rebounds and 8.5 assists. The guy has been spectacular this season, shooting 56.6% from the field, 40% from three-point range and 86% from the free throw line. And you can see that in his PER rating, with the league average being 15, or the average that is set for players being 15. Jokic had a PER rating of 31, which is absolutely outstanding. He leads his team in all statistics. He leads his team in points, rebounds and assists. He's played every single game in the season. And when you look at a centre like Nikola Jokic, he's almost the best of both worlds. As a centre, he is able to draw people out of the post and is able to use his post moves to create spacing. And with the passing ability that someone like Jokic has, he's just extremely well at finding open teammates and being able to distribute the ball. Shout out to Second Spectrum and Kevin O'Connor for helping me with the stats. When Jokic is covered in the post by one person, the Knicks score 1.1 points per chance. This ranks 6th in the NBA out of 39 players to log at least 100 post-ups without being double-teamed. And while that is good, it gets even better when he is double-teamed, as when Jokic is double-teamed, the Nuggets are able to score even more, with them scoring 1.4 points off a chance when Jokic gets double-teamed. And this is the problem when you get with someone like Nikola Jokic, as someone who is an extremely tall centre and is able to work in the post like the big man that he is. While some teams may choose to double team him, you're just playing right into his hands. And when he is able to use his post moves and use his passing ability to post when teams do double team him, it leaves the likes of Jamal Murray, Michael Porter Jr., Monte Morris, Gary Harris, and Paul Millsap all open to make threes. And you can see the problems that does create when they're playing the likes of a team like the Clippers or the Rockets, who do play small a bit more and do struggle with playing against players like that. And looking at his stats as a facilitator, it gets just as good when he is a shooter. He can hit threes off the catch, shooting at 42.1% of the clip. He can drive into pumps and turnarounds, shooting 48.1% of all dribble jumpers. And that just shows the threat that he does have. And one of them, it is a pretty underrated aspect of his game when you think about it, his scoring, as people do respect his passing, but he is a great scorer as a postman. He may not be as dominant in the post moves that he has as Embiid, and he may not be as great as an outside threat as maybe someone like Porzingis or Davis Bertans or Christian Wood, but he does the best of all worlds together, and when you combine all of those, it creates a more dangerous player than most of them, to be honest. And that can be seen in the fact that he's thrown more passes than anyone else in the league, and he's set more screens than all but 10 players in the league, according to Second Spectrum. And that is the problem with him. When you do use him in a pick and roll, if a player does choose to stay with him on the 3-point line, then it gives the guard a chance to get to the rim. But if you do choose to double team him or stay with him, then he can then shoot from the 3-point line or then distribute it to any other players that are going towards the rim or are on the perimeter. And it just makes him the best player in the league that we do have at the moment, undoubtedly. And people just do have to respect him, whether narratives mean it or not. Everyone just has to respect that Jokic has been the best player in the league this season. But that's just my thoughts. Whether you agree with it or not, just check it out. Give your feedback in the comment section. Like and subscribe. And peace.